and then I take the microphone.
Of course.
Now, to make matters a little bit easier, not for you, because let's just be honest, I'm not going to be nice, but to make things easier for me, and don't read into this, Carol, I'm going to take the robe off. If anybody needs any money, there's a young lady back there willing to give you a money. Welcome to Leaky Con. Snape does stand up. I'm so just kidding. So, what the heck was that? All right, we're gonna do something just so I can familiarize myself with everybody in the room. Since you're all part of the school, I just want to take a small roll call. So, I don't want names. Again, I don't care. What I do want is this. How many Gryffindors are in here? Fair enough. How many Slytherins are in here? Thank you. Ravenclaws? And let's see. Carry the one. Oh yes. Hufflepuff. Two. And look, someone's late for class. Everybody turn around and look at the four people who were the other two people who were late.
Give them lines.
I'm just gonna guess this is more Hufflepuff or Gryffindor coming in. Yes, everybody Hufflepuff pride.
Find.
You've all seen the video. What is a Hufflepuff?
Particularly good finder.
Yes, particularly good finders. And then you ask them more, they go, I don't know. All right, but you didn't come here to hear me talk about Hufflepuffs. You came here to hear me talk about me. My third favorite subject. Anybody know what my first favorite subject is?
Lily.
Everybody got it right except for the girl with the dollar. Yes, Lily. My second favorite subject, anybody? The dark arts, thank you. I would have also accepted potions. Oh, look at that, Hogwarts will always be there to welcome me home. Me, specifically. Thank you. She has like a 32-ounce cup on top of her camera. Sorry. No, I really can talk about myself, but I think it's fair to assume that you've read a book. Or 7. You've seen a movie.
Great.
Numerous times, more than once. All right, who cried when I died? I mean, who honestly doesn't think I'm dead? That's it? And the rest of you came here? Expecting nearly headless Nick to do a thing on Snape? Okay, for some of the older people in the audience, and for some of you younger students or prefects, is anybody here familiar with the James Bond movie?
Yes.
All right, now this is why I make the parallel. This is why I make the connection. In James Bond, the villain will put James Bond into some horribly slow killing device. and say something like this: I'm going to let the slow killing device take care of you, Mr. Bond, while I go over here. And I'm just going to assume that you die. Now, James Bond never dies. This is what happens at Shrieking Shack or the Boathouse, take your pick. Which one, how many people prefer the Boathouse over the Shrieking Shack? Wow. That's it? 2 people? All right, well. All right, so anyhow, they do the thing. I cry. And the Potter child takes the tear and goes away. Leaving me alone in the Shrieking Shack. Presumably dead. Wondering why they left me. I didn't say anything. I knew everything. I knew Dumbledore was going to die. I knew Harry. I knew everything. It's safe to assume I knew I was going to die, right? Right? I've seen the snake for how long now? Anybody know what honey badger anti-venom is? Anybody seen how it should have ended? For the rest of you, go online and look that up. It's the best 4 minutes of your life. And it's the salvation of mine. All right. I'm going to talk just a little bit, and then I'm going to open the floor up to questions, and I anticipate that 4 of you, one of which being the girl with the spare dollar, will have questions for me. Did anybody come here thinking I'm going to go and ask him a question? Oh, fantastic. One guy. One guy from Australia came here to ask me. You're not from Australia. No. I'm sorry, Daniel. I just confused you with somebody else. There's Daniel. I'm gonna take one break to do one thing. I don't know how much cable I have, so this snaps back and it goes falling to the floor. You'll know why. Daniel, Justine. This is Daniel and Justine. They flew here all the way from Australia. And since it's tomorrow in Australia, this isn't embarrassing because this has already happened. Do you know why I called you up here? No, you cannot. No, there's something more important than my birthday. You are actually, right? I'm not going to embarrass you if I do this. Okay, thank you, friends. Because he was very excited to meet me, as no one is, and he came up and he said, I have to have you talk to my fiance. And so how long are you engaged now? They get a short period of time because it sounds better if it's like less than that. 2 days, huh? 2 days they've been engaged. And they're very much in love. Portland is the place. It wasn't real until they came here. Because they'll all tell you, it's real for us, isn't it? It is. And you will love her always. If any of you post a video, blog, vlog, write it down in a journal, tell your best friend or your mother that I was indeed nice, I will kill all of you. Starting with the girl with the spare dollar. All right. I'm not keeping track of time. I'll just assume that I will run out of things to say about myself in 40 minutes. Or less. This is a book where I've written everything I know about myself. Oh, no, I found it. It's in this page. I swear I wrote something in this book. Oh, look, 2 pages. All right. Are you ready, sir? Okay. What's your name? Guy fanning himself. Patrick, all right. You're next to die after the girl with one. Obviously. My favorite thing to do when people are like, can you say the line? Turn to page 394. And my favorite answer is no. But I will tell you this, all of you, students, inside on a day like this, people might think you're up to something. I didn't write it. I didn't even say it in the film. There's an internet thing that goes around, and one of the memes, and it says, that moment when, ... whatever. And I had at that moment when, and it was, I was Google searching images for Snape, and, I went on and, image searched Snape. And then several photos came up on the computer, and I went, oh no, that's that one. For a few brief seconds, I couldn't tell the difference between me and a 66-year-old man. Normally, when young, attractive women come and go, you look just like, it's a compliment, but if you think about it, you just look like a 66-year-old man. Thank you. All right. This is the part where I read this to myself.
I love this part.
Says here I was born. January 9th, 1960. Allegedly, it says I died May 2nd, 1998. Obviously, this is wrong. Meet Lily at the age of 9. At the age of 11, I know more curses than most 7th year students. But you guys know all this, right? I don't have to read all this nonsense. Good. The thing that gets me is, congratulations, you all have the internet. I tried to do that video at Leakycon 2 years ago. Who was in Leakycon in Orlando 2 years ago? Who waited in line for the autographs for 2.5 hours and then didn't get one? Yeah. Yay. They fixed that problem, I hear, so. All right. So anyhow, Sirius tricks Snape into following Lupin into the Shrieking Shack, and James saves his life before the werewolf attacks. Why would that happen? James saves my life. Well, that sucks. I didn't like him to begin with. Sure as heck don't like him now. Can't think of why. This is the point. Thank you. This is where everybody looks over here to Lily. Late, I see. Yes, you can look at the wall, but the rest of the audience is looking at you. The wall's been here the whole time. You, on the other hand. Walk of shame, walk of shame. Don't videotape that.
Too late.
Oh, look, there's another page. Oh, I should read this out loud, shouldn't I? That would make things a lot easier. Like, wow, I went to the panel and he just read to himself the whole time. God, I could have seen Darren Chris. God, that's his name, right?
But he's not here.
He's not here? Ah. That was so rock and roll. Hashtag Steve drops the mic. I will only drop the bass 394 times. you know, in addition to talking about myself, as I realize I'm completely failing at doing, I've never felt more like Rick than I do right now. That's just a joke for the 3 people who have ever been to Wicked Fair.
Woo!
We're sitting in the front row. Thanks for coming late, sir. We really appreciate it. Everybody turn around and wave to Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
When you see him later, just go and snicker. I can't snicker, but I assume you can snicker, right? That was awesome. Thank you. Note to self, girl in the front row, not good for comedy relief. Hashtag Snape fail. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, which will move things along a bit better and make this very exciting. If you came here to be entertained and made to laugh, apparently it's working, but my actual goal is to make you feel like crap. To tell you you're awful people and dunderheads and that sort of thing. I have been working on this though, and I realized that, you know, since the popularities of these Harry Potter books, that I've been forced to meet the public a lot more, so I've been working on this. So tell me what you think. It's a smile. I'm told it can be quite effective. Thank you. Years of practice. All right, so this is what I'm going to do in regards to the movies, films, books, what have you. If you've ever wanted to ask Professor Snape a question, like a real, honest question, not a what's your favorite color question, it's puce. Second only to cerulean, but you know, if you've ever been like, I really want to ask Snape a question. Now, is that time. So who has a question for me? All right, we'll walk closer to you so I can hear you.
Do you think you were bullied by James, or do you think it was a mutual anger hate thing?
I know I was bullied by James. Think implies perception. I was clearly bullied by James and his friends. Well, that's called retaliation. That's different. Any good parent will tell you that. Is your mother here? No? God. Retaliate. Another question? Wow, okay. So that was it. Thanks for coming. All right. We're going to start actually with Anna Maria.
So, since he was so good at occlumency...
Since I was so good at occlumency, you're ruining the image for everybody. It's magic, don't spoil it for the kids.
So, how in the world did Voldemort get fooled? I mean, I thought he was the greatest legitimate in occlumency person.
Obviously not. The question is, essentially, how am I so good at occlumency that I can fool one of the greatest wizards and or dark lords ever? And it takes an amount of dedication that most people don't understand, and it answers actually quite a few questions. Things like, how come you never let Harry know? How come you didn't do this, that, or the other? And here's the thing. In order to completely fool not only the Dark Lord, but every Death Eater, I have to be on 24/7, 100% when I'm in their ranks. I have to watch teachers get tortured and or killed, and not show 1 ounce of empathy, sympathy, compassion, or weakness. And I have to do this with a full knowledge that Dumbledore knows that when I'm with the Death Eaters, that I'm going to witness things that I can literally do nothing about at all. Yes, it's taxing, it's painful, and it's one of the many things that explains my sunny disposition. You have a question. here's the truth of this matter. At Leakycon last year, there was a panel on the importance of Lily and the magic and the love and the strength of Lily. And it's mentioned by several characters in the books. And the thing about Lily to remember is that she had an impact on Snape's life that never went away. She turned James from being a bully into a loving father. She created magic that was, Slughorn said, was the best that he'd ever seen of that nature. There was something innate in her. The love that was just inherent within Lily permeated everything she did and everyone she knew. And there it is. Okay, I'm just going to go around and randomly pick people, so if you get upset, it's what?
No more random than me. So if you're gonna go random, yeah, there's no more random than her.
Oh, well, that's great. Since you've made such a big deal of it, I'm going to go this way.
Is that the one with the dollar?
Created many curses, but we don't hear much about the potions that you created. Which one did you create that you found most satisfying to create?
Which potion of my personal creation do I find most satisfying? The one that I'm not going to tell you. You.
So, in a lot of the books, you have this habit of ignoring Hermione when she tries to answer things.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were still speaking.
What's your honest opinion on her?
She's an insufferable know-it-all. I actually say that in the book. It's J.K. Rowling wrote that down per my request. Insufferable know-it-all. I will get to as many people as I can. Use you with the dodgy haircut. Oh, I just pulled back. I'm sorry. I honestly thought someone had done you an injustice. It does happen. What's your question?
If Harry had been born a girl, would you have bullied her as much as you did Harry?
Now see, if Harry had been born a girl
It looks like Lily.
and still had Lily's eyes. Now, your comment or your question contains the word bully, and that's an inaccurate statement in this. I did not bully young Mr. Potter. I was purposely distant. Now you can laugh, but let's be realistic. Not only did he have his mother's eyes, but had I shown Harry any kindness, any caring, any sympathy, empathy, or compassion, consecutive or concurrent, when somebody's seen those fancy films now. What house are you in? I'm gonna have to say this 10 points to Gryffindor. Let me finish real quick. Had I allowed any of that to have come out, at some point in time, Voldemort would have seen it in Harry, and he would have been on to me. And therefore, I could never have let even the slightest bit of caring show. Okay, there's a young person somewhere over here. Yes.
What's your honest opinion of Draco?
The Malfoy boy. He's in one of the books, right? Draco Malfoy is every bit his parents' son. He is arrogant, he is snotty, he is abusive, and he's clever. He's a clever young boy. I don't have anything particularly wonderful nor negative to say about him. Oddly enough, I am neither on this side nor that side. You. But yes, you. Don't look away. You. What's Snape's favorite movie series other than Harry Potter? Don't ruin the magic for everybody in the room, young person. If I was going to watch a movie series other than Harry Potter, elevator. Now, pretend that I've left the robes on. Can you do that? I stepped out of an elevator. There's about 10 people in front of it. I brandished my wand, and I said, "Who am I?" And they said,
Hans Gruber.
and I said, "Incorrect." I said, "Who am I?" And they said, No, they said Professor Snape, and then they said a bunch of lame guesses. And then I said, "I am Hans Gruber, magician." Outside of the Harry Potter Alan Rickman community, that joke is really lame. But in this room, I am the one true voice of God. I think it's phantoms up. Take that. All right, you with the jittery leg, Ravenclaw.
Did you know that your book was in the cabinet when Harry didn't have his book?
You know, I've been asked that before, not by you, unless you're following me around from convention to convention, hoping that I eventually get this answer out. There are a good number of things that were done intentionally, and like all good stories, there are a good number of things that are left up to chance and fate. Harry Potter getting that specific book was chance and fate. I had nothing to do with that.
Is that just to keep up the optimism they didn't mean to say? You don't want to admit that.
Next. All right, let me favor this side, so let me come over here for just a moment. Yes.
Hi, do you know what happened to Voldemort's log after?
God bless.
What was the question?
I love any question that goes blah, 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 killed Lily. Thanks for coming. Things I want to talk about with everybody. Blah, 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 killed Lily. Do I personally know? No, I don't. Hope that was an in-depth enough answer. I can't walk any closer, but yes, you.
Do you use two wands when, so you have separate wands?
One for each of you.
Have you been hanging out at Ollivanders? Have you been hanging out at the Scandinavian wand shop? I had a conversation with Scandinavian wand shop fellow.
Hungarian.
Hungarian, Scandinavian, Latvian.
Latvian.
I was talking to the Latvian wand crafter. By the way, I really do like the Hungarian wand crafter. He's a fine fellow. He had, put your hand down, you silly girl. He had, not you, sir. He had posed the question to me, do I believe that I had two wands? If I was late in a class and walking around aimlessly looking, this is what I would look like. There really is something happening in this room. What house do you belong to? 10 points from Ravenclaw. To answer your question, the answer is no. I do not need two wands. I have the one wand. I'm looking at you and answering you. I only need the one wand. Now, I do understand why people think that, but the one wand, my one true wand, is aligned with me and does what I do. Understands me, chose me. You with the, you. You have a letter for me, do you? Parcel or something? Just a question.
So when are you actually going to come out and admit that you love Harry? Is relationship out in the open?
You're trying to read something into this that just, I gotta tell you, isn't going to fly. Do I care about the boy? Yes, I care about the boy. Do I love him? Yes, his mother's eyes. There's some unknown reason that's just painful to me. I can't imagine why. Yes, you.
Did you first tell Lily you loved her?
So you're assuming that I actually said it.
Did you never say
See, this is what makes the tragedy a tragedy. That we all know, okay, show of hands, how many people believe that I honestly and legitimately love Lily? How many of you who raised your hands think that it is made less because I never said it? All by myself. Hashtag stay Peter. Yes, I really did truly, and the thing that's the most tragic is that unfortunately, because of circumstances, I was never in a position to say it. And by the time that it really came full circle, it was too late. I'm gonna go to just you in the blue shirt with the awful glasses.
Why did you decide to go learn more about the dark arts when you were so young?
That's a fantastic question. Would you like an answer? Maybe. All right, when you decide, I'll let you know. I've always had, always. I'm shutting all of you out of my mind right now. If you want to know an extraordinary display of occlumency, you're watching it right now. I can make you all go away anytime I want to. Well, that reference was lost on everybody. All right. I'm sorry for. Oh yes, I grew up in a very less than caring household, and I've always had a predilection for the darker side of art. So yes, I embraced it at a very young and early age, and don't regret it for a moment, actually. You with the cool cuff thing. And it's lovely, thank you. That wasn't a question, I was just identifying who you are.
Aside from the small fact that he tried to kill you, why do you hate Sirius?
Aside from the small fact that he tried to kill me, why do I hate Sirius? What's your name? Samantha. Who are these people?
Sadie, Lauren, Allison.
Are they family, or did you just meet them here? Okay, all right. Aside from if somebody tried to kill your dad, would there be anything that, anybody here want to hurt this man? Apart from trying to kill you, and picking on you, and making your life a living, can I say hell in front of your daughter? I may have already have said it. Making your daughter's life a living hell. He was a bully. He was this is what I think a lot of people don't get, because sometimes they don't draw correlations, or I'm having a really big word, I don't know how old you are. They don't often get the relationship between the Harry Potter universe and Muggle life, but James and Sirius and I can't remember their names because they're awful people. But I'm sure you know who they are. They're basically the equivalent of jocks, and I was the equivalent of a poor, not well-liked nerd. Yes, thank you. And so you're all by yourself, just you, and a whole lot of fanfic writers. And sorry, Carol. But yes, they were really, really mean. And no matter how popular you are, and no matter how unpopular someone else is, never gives you the right to be mean to them. So yeah, I didn't like them. And then he tried to kill me. That's not a tee-hee, that's like a bad thing. Yes, Shu.
Can you talk about your childhood?
No. You.
So you said that you always had a like for the dark arts, so why did you want to teach defense against the dark arts?
Well, I already had a great mountain of knowledge beforehand, and two, my allegiance had clearly changed by that time. So, yes, I wanted to put myself in the best position for that. Dumbledore felt obviously different. All right, you with the bright yellow top.
Do you resent Sirius or Remus more for the incident at the shooting shack? Read the question.
Do I blame Remus or
Not blame, but like resent.
do I resent Remus or Sirius? I resent Sirius more, yeah. That wasn't an easy answer, look at that. You, who's gonna answer the one-word question? Go ahead.
What was the first potion you ever did?
When I was 7, prior to going to school,
Yeah.
was the first potion I ever did.
What was it?
We could all find him later in the Yes, you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
If you, so this is kind of a personal question, but
Oh, hang on a second.
if you were ever to lose all of your magical powers and move to Arizona, open a fancy diner and be a fry cook, what would be for breakfast today?
Wow.
Okay, the incredibly important question you all stood in line for. If I lost all my magical powers, flew on an airplane to Arizona, lowered my standards of life, became a line cook for a greasy diner, the head cook for a greasy diner, what would be for breakfast today?
Because I know you serve a different breakfast every day, and you shave your head.
And I shaved my head. If I shaved my head, what would be for breakfast today? It would be scrambled eggs with mushrooms and sausage, and a side of 1/2 of a waffle. What? Wait, you in the green shirt, who's going to ask a much better question than that.
Now, Remus was brought up earlier. Remus never really took that much part in the bullying of you as a kid. He was more of a bystander in that. Do you blame him as much as you blame James and Sirius?
Pretty much, yeah. If somebody's bullying you and somebody's standing next to them going, I mean, seriously, if you, okay, I'm going to say this, because this is something you guys should just all know, and don't applaud unless you really want to, but here's the thing, to bully someone is wrong. It doesn't really matter who does or doesn't do it. To stand and watch someone and not do something about it is wrong. You know, if you really want to do good in the world, and eventually I will, but if you really want to do good in the world, you have to actually actively be part of it. And if you stand by and you never do anything, then you are worse than he who should not be named. Yes, you.
Do you know what happened to your parents?
Second favorite question after people ask me about Lily and death. I'd like to know about your mom and dad. And according to J.K. Rowling, I think their current whereabouts are unknown. I know this because, you know, like you do when you can't find your family, you go on WikiHow. And you look it up. Harry Potter died, Leakycon died, whatever. And I'm not really good at this interweb thing. And just wave a wand at the computer and see what happens. And but no, I don't know. I was not close to my father and only moderately close to my mother. And it was not a happy childhood. But thanks for bringing it up. I really can't express how happy that makes me. Way back in the back, I can't walk in. Yes, you. What's your question?
Did the Dark Lord know your blood status?
Yes. Thank you for that, really. Yes, you. Right. Yes, you. You. Or you, I guess. Either one.
Do you ever wonder who set your robes on fire during the Quidditch match?
No. I love these are great ones. Questions I do like being asked ask that don't start off with insulting me. Or blah, blah, blah. Lily died. Did you know that? Blah, blah. Were you there? Did you see it? Was my Patronus always Adele? There have been several discussions about this and all kinds of fan pages and sites and whatnot. It stems two questions. One, was Patronus, well, my Patronus also? And two, can your Patronus change?
Yes. Tonks did.
See, question number 2 gets answered. So question number 1, what was my Patronus before it was Adele? I swear to God, someone said a Santa.
Panda, I think.
You have read the book, right? Who over here said the right answer? No?
A bat?
Yes, a bat. Very good. Yes. Huh? Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for very, very clearly defining that. The young boy in the first word said an animal. What house do you belong to? Gryffindor. 5 points from Gryffindor. Not 4 from. Thank you, Slytherins.
Yeah.
All right, the yes, you, not your friend. She has one. Are you?
Why did you encourage Lily to go to Slytherin when you knew the stigma of Hogwarts in that house?
Because even at 9, 10, and 11 years old, I wanted her to hear me. All right, yes, you, the young, very, yes, you.
After, Lily kind of was drawn away, did you ever seek out any other relationships, either romantic or just with friends?
Well, I had friends. They formed a sort of club. We had some after-school activities. It was a lot of fun. Oddly enough, things didn't go the way I thought they would. So, I mean, that begs the question, you know, did I follow with the wrong crowd, or did I keep my friends close and my enemies closer? I'm not answering, I'm posing it. Yes, you, sir.
You have considerable skill in potions.
Thank you.
Why?
Oh, there's more.
Why did you never write your own potions book?
I was a little preoccupied. Maybe you don't know this, but there was this whole 100% for Dumbledore, Order of the Phoenix, 100% watching teachers get killed, walk in the hallways, never sleeping. Every other teacher has a casual outfit, a formal outfit, hangs out at the party. I have 8 movies, 7 books, and 1 robe. And then on top of silence! And then on top of taking care of all of that, I have to grade homework. Do we have any teachers in the audience here? Any teachers? Imagine your life as me. Do you have time to read the book? All right, I'm gonna go to in the back. Yes, you with the yes. What do I call my constant humiliation of Neville? Good teaching. Miss J.K. Rowling had been asked at one point in time, you know, why do you have some teachers so awesome and then some teachers even more fantastic like myself? And there are other teachers, I'm not the only strict teacher, there are other teachers in the Harry Potter universe, McGonagall, who are very strict, stern teachers who don't put up with all this sort of wibbly-wobbly nonsense. I hear that's a reference to a show. And I don't see it that way. I was stern, and yes, more stern on some than others. J.K. Rowling made it a point to say, and I'm going to paraphrase 5 minutes, I'm going to paraphrase, that not all teachers are good, and that lessons have to be learned from both good and not so good teachers. That's why she wrote those characters that way. I'm real. That's why she wrote those characters that way. Okay, and the blue shirt against the wall. Everybody wants me to say the obvious answer. Clearly, if I'm just going to hypothetically say, well, here's the thing, it's probably a fixed point in time. Because let's be honest, if we take away the really bad word that I said to Lily, that changes everything, and you have one book with a happy ending, and that's it. And Miss Rowling is still teaching school somewhere, and you've got one movie at best. So I can't go back in time and change that. I have to live with that mistake. Okay, I think we have time for like one more question, so, or two if they're short. Wow. Okay, who, out of everybody with their hands up, who hasn't been called yet? That's all of you. Okay, that's great. All right, I'm gonna pick you because you're really straining your arm out of socket, and then one person from this side.
Did you know that Harry Potter's second son's middle name is your name?
No, really? You all knew this? And no one told me. Did you know that his initials spell asp? Which is a snake? Victory is mine. Okay, one final question to this side of the room. Did I ask you one earlier? No? Okay, then I'm gonna let this little girl, the young person go. Well, that's obvious. You just want me to say it, make everybody go, oh. Because I was afraid of what was going to happen happened, and it did. Yes, James died. Broke my heart. Only not in that order. Think about that one. Okay, one last question. No, I would not like a hug. I don't hug. I never told her I loved her because I didn't fully understand the full concept of love until after it was gone. All right. I'm going to close real quickly by saying one thing. Words carry a lot of meaning, they carry a lot of importance. You can help people, hurt people, you can empower people, you can take power away from people. You can do an amazingly wonder of good and bad things with the mere words, incantations, spells, and actions that you do and make. So, So with that in mind, remember this, you are never defined by any one moment, and it doesn't matter what you've done, even if you're me. It doesn't matter what you've done, you're never defined by a single moment, you are defined by the entirety of your life. So go forward and do something good with it. Thank you. Real quick, a couple of things. If you've taken a photo with me, I'm Vladimir Snape on Facebook, and Tumblr, and Twitter. Additionally, I have a YouTube channel for Vladimir Snape. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, Firefly, and Doctor Who, I just recently did a video that combines all three of those fandoms in one video. So go onto Facebook, go onto YouTube, look it up, and share it, promote it, and I'm gonna go outside and stand still so people can point. Sir, madam, miss. Tomorrow I'm reading Tales of Beetle the Bard. It's where all of you get to hear me say things like, Babbity, rabbity. All right, I'm gonna be outside. Class dismissed.